Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the severe weather risk today. That's going to be our main story today. At the end of the video, we will talk about the tropics just a tiny bit, but most of the video will be about the severe weather. So let's get into today's video. Okay, so we are looking at the day one categorical outlook here. You see there's a marginal risk of severe weather, a slight risk of severe weather, and then an enhanced risk of severe weather today. I want to show you guys my outlook that I created just a little bit ago. This is my outlook here. I found a marginal risk, a slight risk for these regions, and then even an enhanced risk. Um, with 10% chance of tornadoes right in that area where we've seen a couple of tornadoes today, right in that yellow region, and 2% all the way back to Missouri, all the way up into Michigan. Um, this is the wind risk. We have a 5% chance, 15 and 30% chance with Zig. I put, I think there could be some significant winds here, in that 30% chance area that I put here. Um, and the hail threat, I put it as only a 15% chance just because it's looking like, according to the lapse rate and everything, it looks the best here, but I haven't seen really much of like 2-inch hail or anything, so that's why I just decided not to put out a 30% chance of hail just because we haven't seen the most biggest of hail here, so that's why I just decided to stick with a 15% chance. I'll read you guys my discussion here. Day 1 outlook for today, 3 p.m. Update 2. This is my second update today. There's a enhanced risk today summary. There's a risk of some tornadoes, damaging winds, some possibly significant, and large hail. Discussion right now there is supercells that have developed tornado risk. So a 10% was issued for Wisconsin. This is my outlook, not the SPC's. There hasn't been that bad of hail, so I've got up to 1.5, but I didn't put a 30% chance because there has been that big hail up to 2-inch hail. The wind risk has extended to Ohio and Northeast because of the storms ongoing right now, and mainly a wind risk, so 15% chance has been extended over there. Also, there has been a 30% chance of Zig wind because there's a lot of Cape 1000 to 4000, that's instability, and D Cape values of 1000, and D Cape is what comes the winds that come out of the storm. um, 1000 meaning there is going to be a risk of some damaging wind. There is a little bit of disagreement between the HRR and NAM3K. This was actually the last update, the 12Z. There has been a little bit of change in the NAM3K. NAM3K thinks there will be a line of storm that develops in Missouri, but not a line for Illinois and Michigan. That did change, I think, in this update they did, the 18Z update. HRR thinks there will be a line that goes through the 30% zig area on my outlook, but HRR has been right on the supercell development, so I issued a 30% zig for this area. And then Brent Weathers and not these are not by National Weather Service, these are my own discussions and stuff. So I want to share my outlook, what I thought here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. But let's get back to the SPC's outlook. If you want to see my outlooks, I put them on my Discord server. If you want to go see it, go check out my Discord server. I put little outlooks sometimes on there, not all the time, and put discussions sometimes. So yeah. Okay, let's look at the day one tornado outlook here, and they also have a 10% chance of tornadoes, 2%, and then a 5% chance of tornadoes, and then even a 10% chance of tornadoes, but mainly in Wisconsin. Here, as you can see, the day one hail threat here, and we have a 5% chance, a 15% chance, and then a 30% chance zig hail, so significant hail of 2 inches in diameter. I haven't seen that happen in the last little while. I haven't seen really much of 2-inch hail. I've seen 1-inch, 1.5-inch hail, but I haven't really seen about 2-inch hail. I haven't really seen at least on the warning information. So that's why I didn't put out the 30% zig on my outlook, but um, it's possible that there could be some 2-inch hail today. 5% chance of wind here, as you can see, 15% chance of wind, and then a 30% chance of wind with zig, meaning significant winds possible right near just north of Chicago. Actually, I think it includes Chicago, zig wind and 30% chance here of that wind. I think especially as it goes into this area here, I think it's going to be a better threat of damaging wind. Um, let's look at day 2 categorical outlook here, and we see there's a marginal risk of severe weather here. And there was just a marginal risk of severe weather. In their second update, they added 2 slight risks here. We see a slight risk for New York, Pennsylvania, and we see another slight risk for parts of near Chicago again, including parts of Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. I did not make an outlook for day 2, but I did for day 1. Day 2 tornado outlook, all of it's mainly in Chicago and stuff, 2% in near New York, some of those areas, and a 2% chance of tornadoes, but in that slight risk in Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois, we don't really have a 2%. Day 2 hail is a 5% chance, so that's basically a marginal risk of hail for most of these regions here. And then our day 2 wind outlook is the thing driving the slight risk, 5% chance, 15, and another 15 here for parts of those areas. Day 3 outlook, actually on the day 4 probabilistic a day ago, there was slight risk or a 15% chance right up here. Looks like they took it off and changed it to a marginal risk. It's a very big marginal risk, so I expect somewhere in here probably to have a slight risk, but for right now we don't have a slight risk here for these regions. Okay, now let's look at the models here and see what's going to be happening in the next few hours. This is the 18Z run, so I wasn't looking at the 18Z run because it wasn't at the 18Z one whenever I was creating my outlook here. So, but this is our newest update here, and we see there's going to be possibly a line of thunderstorms here, all the way extending all the way to Kansas by 8 o'clock tonight. We might see a line of storms. I think the biggest threat with this line will be damaging wind. Probably one of the biggest threats. Maybe one or a few tornadoes, maybe. But I think it's going to lower because it's going to become more of a squall line, it looks like. But we could see maybe a little bit of hail too with these, but the main threat will be damaging wind once it becomes a line of thunderstorms, just like yesterday. As you can see though, there's going to be a line that develops here, and it continues, still this line going from Michigan all the way near Missouri. The part in Missouri actually kind of fizzled out, it looks like. So it looks like the line's mainly in for Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. Still a line of storms by 11 p.m. tonight. Keep fast forward, we still have a line, but it looks like this line is weakening by this time. At 1 a.m. in the morning, so we could still see some damaging winds with this, and it looks like it's mainly fizzled out by 3 o'clock in the morning. So let's look at the significant tornado parameter with the NEM 3K model. 3, this is actually the beginning stages, so about right now, and it thinks about 3.5 on the significant tornado parameter, 3.7, mainly for Iowa though and Wisconsin. According to the model, so there might be a few supercells that develop here, and if there is, could be a few tornadoes here. We've already seen a couple of tornadoes here today, tornado warnings. And we see there's quite a bit of significant tornado parameter. If we look at the HRR here, high resolution reflector model or something like that. Sorry. And we see there's still some high significant tornado parameter here, and that's where the supercells are right now. So let's fast forward a little more to a few hours when it becomes a squall line. So about probably 19, about 15 hours, I'd say, probably. This is probably when it becomes near a squall line. See, there is a little bit in Missouri here. some significant tornado parameter, and some in Illinois still. So we still see maybe a tornado threat. Because it's going to be a squall line, I think it'll be less likely to see that happen. So yeah, let's see what the HRR thinks here. And we don't see that much by this time when it becomes a squall line here. So yeah, let's look at the instability here, see how much instability there is. And we see there's a lot of instability right in this region here. Lots of near 2,000 plus here, even some near 4,000 in Iowa and Illinois here, where these storms are going to move into later today. Dew points here we're going to look at. We see there's about upper 70s in dew points, maybe even some 80s. Mainly, it just looks like mainly 70s though. So we see quite a bit of moisture and instability here for these storms. Let's look at the shear. We're going to have to look on here for shear. I have to look on here for shear because they don't have shear on tropical tidbits. So let's look at the shear here. We're going to look at that. Bulk shear here. You need 40 knots or more for some tornadoes. And for about right now, we have quite a bit of 40 knots right here in Wisconsin. So that's why there's a 10% chance of tornadoes both on my outlook and SPC's. Because there's about 40 knots, so there's enough for some tornadoes here, and some in Wisconsin, about that much here. Um, let's look at some of the soundings here. This is what it shows. Wait a minute. Okay, here. We're gonna look at some of the soundings here. Let's see. What's this? So, so there. It says here. Type tornado. It says right down here there will be about 4,000 cape here. D cape. You want to look at D cape for the wind. And we see there's about 1,600 here. And for the Iowa derecho about a year ago now, it had about 1,300 D cape. So there's a lot more D cape here. And then lapse rates, 7 and 8 mean there's a chance of large hail. And there's about 7 here. Still significant hail possible, some significant hail. Then you look at the SRH here for the tornadoes, and usually 160 or something like that is good for tornadoes. And there isn't about there's about 800 or not 880, and some of that, but not really much for tornadoes here. At least on the soundings it says. Let's look a little more right over here in Wisconsin. Let's look at some of that stuff again. About 5,000 cape, D cape 1,343, so that's more than enough for damaging wind. Some hail possible because there's about 7 in lapse rates here. Supercell 5.2. SRH though really doesn't show how much you need for like tornadoes, so it shows a little lower. So, but you could still get a tornado with low SRH, but better chances of tornadoes you need 160 about here. So yeah, let's fast forward a little more here. This is actually 12Z run. There we go. Let's get some of the soundings here. Probably, let's see, 5,000 cape. D cape is 1,219, so enough for damaging wind. That's why we have a 30% chance of wind, and then 6.9, so about 7 on the lapse rate, so there's enough for some large hail. And then actually here in this location, SRH is actually near or above 160, so there's a chance of some tornadoes potentially right in here near this area here. Let's fast forward even more. When this is a line, as you can see, let's get some soundings here. We see about 4,000 cape, D cape 1,272, so well more than enough for damaging wind. About 6s on the lapse rate, so some large hail possibly. SRH some 200, so some enough maybe for a tornado, but says severe type is mainly severe. So yeah, let's look near Chicago. Let's see what it says there. Let's see what that says. It says 4,000 Cape, D Cape 1,679. So enough for damaging wind. Some sevens and fives on the lapse rate, so some large hail possible. And some maybe a slight tornado risk possible too with it here. So yeah, and then let's look near Missouri where that other line is supposed to be to see that's going to be severe. It says marginal severe 4,000, DK 1,755, so still enough for some damaging wind. And some large hail possible because it says sevens and 8 here, so some large hail is possible with that here. But it says marginal severe, so it shouldn't be that bad. So I just want to look at some of the soundings. I usually don't look at that. I've been learning soundings, so you need D-Cape for damaging wind, high lapse rates for large hail, and bulk shear, and low LCL for tornadoes too. Let's actually look at the LCL here. Um, so basically, the lower this is, the better chance, or the better tornadoes can get to the ground. So we do not want to see low LCL height unless there's a better chance of them getting to the ground. And we have a lot of low numbers here, so that's bad news here. So we might see some tornadoes later today. It's going to be more of a squall line by this point, so that's why I won't be as concerned. If there were supercells, then yes, but by this point they're not going to be as much supercells. Let's actually go back a little bit to where they are supercells. There's not much here, 300 M. So there's enough for them to get to the ground, the tornadoes to get to the ground here. So the lower it is, the more the tornadoes can get to the ground. The higher it is, it's harder for the tornadoes to reach the ground. And we see some low numbers here. So, and that's something that we do not want to see here with the significant tornado parameter. So that means that's part of the reason why the significant tornado parameter is pretty high, because of the LCL and the bulk shear. So yeah. So I'm gonna stop talking about the severe weather. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the tropics here, because I'm already 17 minutes in. So we're gonna talk about the tropics just real quick. Here we see there is tropical storm Fed that developed that developed yesterday, and then we have a new disturbance that we kind of talked about yesterday too. 30% chance of development in the next 2 days. Next 5 days, 50% chance of development. Let's just look at Tropical Storm Fred real quick here, and this is the warning cone, or the track cone. And we see there's already some tropical storm watches for Cuba here. And you can see it's expected to be tropical storm by 8 a.m. Monday whenever it hits near Florida. Looks like it's going to hit near just east of Destin and Pensacola. So, and I think west of Tallahassee. So, looks like we'll see tropical storms, that tropical storm possibly there from the tropical storm here. It's expected to become tropical depression and then become a tropical storm again. So, yeah. Let's look at the wind speed probabilities. Right now, it's about near an 80% chance, and that once it gets near Florida, there's about 20 to 30% chance. 50 knots winds, 5 to 10% chance near Florida as it makes the landfall. So we're going to have to watch this the next few days as it heads toward Florida. Arrival time, this is the last thing we'll look at here for the video. Arriving Florida Friday 8 p.m. And then, or the Keys and stuff, and when it makes landfall about Sunday 8 a.m. according to what this says. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I know today was a longer video, so I'll explain the severe weather and stuff, showing you my outlook. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next video.